the Waveline Ez. So first thing we're going to do is turn the unit on. All right, so this is the screen that we would see. First, it'll count down, so if you don't enter anything, it will actually go back out to the main screen. And you can always touch up here and add this in after the fact. So first thing we want to do is choose the size animal. What this does is change the algorithm of how it calculates some of the parameters. So we'll go ahead and save that. And then if we put in a large and save that, it would change up here. So let's go back into small. All right, so we're back to small. So right now I've got the unit hooked up to an ECG simulator. Our temp is reading. So let's go through each parameter by itself. So any parameter that you want to manipulate, simply touch. Gives us options for our alarms, which lead, our gain, the type of monitor. So if we're monitoring or if we're in surgery where there are other instruments being used that potentially could create some interference, that's where we would change that. That gives us the highest filter option available. So lead type, cascade, sweep speed, anything that you want to change can be done by simply touching the parameter. So I'm going to go back. So you can see it's changed the ECG2. If I want to go here, this is more, again, same options for changing here. If I go to SpO2, again, can manipulate the alarms. IBP. Alarm switch on, pressure units, small, this will change. So if I change it within here, it's going to reload the right configuration. So for inflation mode, if we touch here, we can go to auto and change the intervals from 1 to 480 minutes. So I'm just going to go use that. I'll go back. Temperature, again, alarm, unit. All right, so if we go to our respiration, right now I have it off because it's alarming. So I turn it on, go back, and you can see here. So if I want to silence, it'll give me alarm suspended time. So we're not getting any respiration because we're using a simulator. If I want to set alarms up, alarm priority, so you can change all of these. Now let's go over the buttons at the bottom. So NIBP list. This gives us our trend data. I'm going to close that. If I go into alarm setup, we can change our alarm priorities. So we can make these from a high alarm to a medium, so on and so forth. Go back, and we can change the length of time for the alarm silence. And now we're back out to the main screen. We can go to our mark any alarm that's going on. We can mark that. Again, we want to start stop. We can do a stat. alarm silence, it will suspend any current alarms. If we go into setup, this is where we're going to potentially change the waveforms, where we want those on the screen. And this is where we're also going to change our heart sound. So we can either get it from our QRS, ECG, or from the pulse. Or we can turn it off altogether. We can change our sweep directions, display. We can go down to 2. Say we don't want to do respiratory. We'll see what that looks like. So now we have a nice different configuration on the screen. And go back out to setup, go back to 3, and here we go. We can go ahead and freeze if we want to examine or print out a particular waveform. We can go to our trend data. So we have graphical, tabular, alarm events, last waveform, and this is the start time of our case. So trending, you can go from 5 seconds to 1 hour. Print, if you are, that would be a stat printer, and that would print out whatever's going on right now. And then now our NIBP has reached its interval, and it's going to start. And then if I go to recall, basically this is where we delete the history record, the tabular trends. Most of that will be saved, but it does get to a point where the storage space is taken up. You will need to start deleting. And then pause. So we can pause the case. Let's just say that we are doing something with the patient and it's just setting off all kinds of alarms. So we can suspend it while we get through repositioning, any number of different things, and then go into resume case. So we can also end a case and start a case by doing that. We can shut down and it'll save the current case, or shut down and delete the current case. So let's go back into resume. If I want to change date and time, again, anything we want to manipulate, we'll simply touch on that, change, and save that data. If we were to change it and cancel, it would not make any changes. So that's the Waveline EZ. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.